Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at COCANBUTTER's JILLIN versus HOLYBANG's HERTZ from the first season of Street Woman Fighter. So I have not seen this battle. I have no idea who wins. And I know that the judges of this season were pretty interesting, made some confusing calls. So I'm just doing this more for fun, give my opinion, my feedback on what my thoughts are. And yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started.
DJ ready? Fight!
Hey, you can't left here. Girl, me want come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more time. Hey, boom boom, gonna boom boom. Bend your back, boom boom. Rev me, boom boom. Boom boom, gonna boom boom. Bend your back, boom boom. Rev me, boom boom. Position, you no lazy. Tight like glue, it crazy. Every time you me amazing. Me try your hard 'cause you know me stay. You think the way you big, but me no want. No, me no. You live the last of sick. Come flick my come sick. Don't be brave this.
I'm assuming this may be a genre that, I'm assuming this is HERTZ because she's coming from the HOLYBANG side. That may be a genre she's not super like fluent in freestyling in.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
I like the track. I like that she caught that beat, that rhythm at the very end. Okay, let's take a look. So, I think that I gotta actually watch it again so I can give my thoughts.
Hey, you can't left here. Girl, me want come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more time. Hey. Boom boom, gonna.
I like that she matched the energy of the song. But I want us to take note though, like, and this is why I feel like this particular, at least tone of a song, because it sounds maybe not reggae. I don't think it's reggae. So I'm not gonna say it's that, but it's definitely, it's not, I would say that's probably not the genre that I would assume that her crew is super fluent in, just based on the crew previews. At least in a freestyle movement quality-esque, just based on, because there's certain cultural postures that you could take with this, you know, that I feel that she's taking. A lot of her choices that she's making, she's not really utilizing the chest as much as I feel that she could in this sense. I feel like how she's bleeding down within the particular grooves too. She is making great choices of like hitting that boom boom, like she's doing good on her wordplay, which is great. But some of her choices are starting to get cut off just a little bit, and that's the only reason why I'm making an educated guess. Here's the thing, I could be 100% wrong. You know, I always learn something new every day. But based on the context of how she's dancing to the song, it feels like she's trying to figure out how to dance to it while dancing to it, you know, which is a great skill set to practice and do, you know. I feel that a lot of her movement, normally when you hit some of these grooves or these moves, party moves, some of them are, normally there's a particular fullness that comes with it, and part of it looks a little bit more muted. It could be because of the song, because the song has a very particular aggression or valence to it in comparison to the groove or movement that she's trying to do, but it doesn't seem to be matching as much as it did, quite as much as they did in the beginning. Yeah, and it feels like she's trying to do moves or hit certain parts of the music. I really empathize with this, and I really struggle with this for myself as a whenever I freestyle in ciphers, is whenever I hear a song, I'm trying to hit all of the sounds that I hear because I feel like that's the way to be polyrhythmic, but sometimes it's working with the song versus working and combating against the song and like checking off all of your boxes of your layers. So I really struggle with that. And because of my consideration for music, sometimes I consider it too much for where I am as a dancer sometimes. So going back to her, I noticed just a little bit some of her movements that she's doing. She kind of cuts them off a little bit for the sake of trying to hit a move. And the only reason why I noticed that is because I myself struggle with that now, you know. So I love that right there, going the hit into that smooth groove. Yeah, and then she hits, but I noticed that whenever she hit a little bit out of pocket, meaning that she didn't quite hit it when the beat justifies the kind of hit to take place for this song. And then she ended up hitting it again, so I'm wondering if at this point she's trying to bleed up the time like that little bit, because kind of felt like she's trying to feel out how much time she has left, in a way of she's starting to run out of things to do. But I really love what she did there. That hit and then that little bleed over was really fun. But I will say part of what she's doing, it does come across, not saying that this is true, it does come across and appear that she's not displaying full confidence behind her movements like she would if her song was different. You know, because a lot of her movement, it feels like she is very familiar with certain foundations and fundamentals for sure. But it just really feels like, because the song is so like over here to compare to what we feel that her movement normally is danced to, I feel like that's been pretty combative for her this whole round, you know, and that's unfortunate sometimes, and I really resonate with that. I've had that happen to me at auditions, so I really get that. Yeah.
JILLIN.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is Jillian because she's coming from the cocoa and butter side. So correct me if I'm wrong though. I will say with Jillian, she is approaching what she's doing stable, but very simple. So she's not even filling up the and counts at this point. She's filling up whole counts. So like 4 counts worth, 1, 2, 3, like she's hitting whole counts, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But whenever you look at one of the qualities that you find in someone who's very good at freestyling, and you don't have to be, I will say this side note, we all know this, you don't have to be at a certain caliber as the individual doing it to understand what that caliber is. You know what I mean? So for saying, I am not the best freestyler in the world, nor do I claim to be. Same with choreography and same for dancing. I'm not the best. I do know what high quality does look like because I've been trained to look for those things, as well as naturally when you love something, you tend to understand most of the realms of what comes with it, the beginner, intermediate, and advanced equivalences of those things. So looking here, her movement is stable, but it is very simple in what you normally look for in the abilities of what creates high quality freestyle. So her freestyle is simple. Is it effective? Well, we'll see. I think it's part of the full context of what she brings. If she starts really simple in the whole counts and then she progresses it up and plays around in the different pockets of the music, then yes, now we're talking. This is great, right? But does she do that? I don't believe so. She's still chilling on the 1, 2, 3 on the whole counts. Maybe with some ands if we keep with it like a 1 and 2 and, or 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So will say I do like her movement quality. Do I feel like her stability and her movement quality is enough in comparison to the risks or the choices that I feel that Hertz was attempting? I don't know, you know? I feel like it's kind of a toss-up because one of them was bringing more complexity, but her execution didn't have that kind of confidence and stability behind it, and it wasn't as cohesive. But then the other person didn't really bring as much complexity to the table, but she was more stable in what she was doing. So I don't know. I'm honestly at a toss-up for this. Because even here, it really feels like she's really bleeding through a little too much here. I like her movement patterns here. Yeah, but it's just going back to what I've been saying already with Jillian, if this is Jillian. She hasn't hit anything more complex than ands. You know, she's only hit 1 and 2 and, or the 1, 2, 3, for, right? She may have within her waving or her body rolls integrated the 1 iana, 2 iana, but normally you factor the counts when you have a staccato move or something that creates a strike or something that has a very, like an indentation on your counts. So that was fun. That was nice that she did something a little bit faster there. But even then here, like that was a really nice choice that she did. So I will say she's also presenting some very interesting variations on top of it. It's just, I feel like for the amount of time she's given, she's not really doing the most with it as you normally could, right? But that could have worked in her favor. And I like that too. 4, 5, 6, 7. That was like that was my, honestly, I think that was the very first, and it's near the end, one of the first variants that actually tailored to the music like that. Like it was very much like that. Now, were there other, I'm not saying that her texture or her grooves did not cater to the music. It's not my point. I'm talking about like an actual movement sequence that caters specifically to a layer in the music, not the overall essence of the style that she was trying to do. You know, so wow, okay, so I think I'm at a legit toss-up between the two because I feel that they both were kind of the opposite. Like one of them was very stable and I liked her movement quality, but I felt like she didn't do enough in movement context. And then the other one I think did a lot of movement context or density, but a lot of it wasn't connected as well as it should have been or as full to the song, and it was kind of a little bit maybe not as collaborative to the song as it could have been as well. So I would say if I had to pick one, I'm assuming, I mean on my list I don't really have a rematch for this one, so I'm assuming somebody was chosen. I would probably give it to Cocoa and Butter's Jillian, so my dancer over here on my right, because out of the two, I really do value people who are stable in their choices, and it is very clear where you're going from point A to point B, because it is really because I personally struggle with that, to learn to be patient within my groove and to ride out a groove in its entirety. A lot of times I get a little too impatient, so I really do value when people do that. So I think I would pick Jillian in this case because of what she did is kind of difficult to do whenever you're so used to wanting to get content out, right? Or you want to get something across or get your best moves across. So that's who I would pick in this. But yeah, there was a toss-up for a hot minute there though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. These have been really fun to just kind of take a look at and blind react to and take my vote of who I think won. And I know too, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it's TV, it's fun. I like it, you know, and I know this is only one component of the entire show. So I know that I'm thankful that these are uncut, so I don't have any weird cuts that are getting in the way of the fullness of what I'm looking at, which is really good. And so I'm happy to keep trucking along, get through these battles, and just the discussions that come with it. So I will catch y'all later. Bye.